What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again, alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada. Welcome to a special edition of No Gimmicks Podcast, Wrestlemania 33 and 33. Dale, tell him what's good, my man.
Well, I was feeling like I was going to say WrestleMania 33, but that last hour and a half, the last four matches kind of turned my attention on a WrestleMania.
Yeah, so let's jump right into this, folks. Let's talk about the main event. We had The Undertaker taking on Roman Reigns. The good basically was the end. Taker got a proper send-off from the WWE Universe. They gave the man his proper respect. You know, you're talking about someone who's been in the business for over about 30 years, has been a locker room leader, and has been one of the most, famous superstars to come through the WWE. Basically, that's about the only good we really had to say about this because the match itself pretty much sucked. So, Dale, what you got for the bad?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one of the other things I liked about the good was how he entered through the stage, he exited down. I also thought was a nice way to go out, too.
Okay, yeah, nice touch there, definitely. Definitely for Taker.
Yep. So the bad of this one is the fact that in the end, when the match became no holds barred, it kind of meant that Roman no longer was going to be able to win dirty because weapons were already going to be utilized as part of the match. So he was just going to go over in the end, and I felt like that's kind of the wrong move. I think they really could have used this as the building block to make a bad Roman Reigns and said now he's still a tweener coming out of this thing.
So we really did not accomplish anything here. Taker got sent off, like I said, the proper way, but what a bad way for him to go out. This match was almost hurtful. Being a fan of Undertaker for as long as I've been, it actually kind of hurt to watch him go out like this. Which brings us to the ugly. There were two just absolutely brutal botches during his change between Taker and Roman Reigns, where he screwed up the counter on the tombstone not once, but twice. Dale, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, and then Undertaker wasn't able to lock in the Hell's Gate. It essentially just kind of became an armbar, and I was just kind of starting to see some of the signs where, like, yep, this is time. We're seeing the signs. Undertaker, unfortunately, needs to hang up the boots, and as we saw at the end, he did. So
sad but true. Taker has been a hell of a career, man. But moving on here to our next match, we had the Six Patch Challenge, which at times we almost thought was not even going to happen on the WrestleMania 33 card because just came at a time where it just seemed like they pushed it from the main card to the pre-show, then they moved it from the pre-show back to the main show, and then they moved it right before the main event. So the good we have in this one, Naomi regains her women's title, the Smackdown Live title, after returning from her injury. Dale, you have anything you'd like to add to that?
No, her entrance she was the only woman that actually got a full, complete entrance. So her entrance lived up to it. She won, which was nice, because I don't think she would have ever lost the title had she not got injured when she beat Alexa. So this kind of just resets everything for the SmackDown Women's Division, and now they can go forward in the direction that they wanted to go with the division. The bad part of I think the bad part of this is a little bit the treatment of this match. Obviously, you pointed how it moved around from the main roster to pre-show and then back, and then I think it just got also just shafted in the time because none of the women except for Naomi got a full entrance.
Yeah, before they were even down the ramp, it seemed like they started the next entrance music up.
Yeah, and then I also just James Ellsworth. Dude doesn't deserve to be in WWE. He should have needed to buy a ticket to get to WrestleMania. And then the fact that he got involved in this match, and how was that within the rules? So that was another chunk of the bad there.
I'm with you on that one. So moving on to the ugly here, this one. Hate to say it because I actually respect her as a competitor, but Becky Lynch, what in the hell did we have going on with you tonight, miss? I don't know who she was supposed to be. Kind of saw a little bit of Fifth Element possibly in there, mixed in with a little Lisa Bonet from The Cosby Show. I'm not sure what exactly we had going on. We also had a Tatanka appearance as well. There's definitely some strange looks going on out there for the women involved in the Smackdown Six Pack Challenge. But moving on here to Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. This match here, we had said we actually thought the video package was going to wind up being longer in it.
And it was about equal.
Yeah. The good here, Brock won. And the WWE Universe finally turned on Goldberg. Dale, what you got to add to that?
That was about it. And again, we counted. It was about little over 4 minute video package. The match went roughly 4 to 5 minutes. So about even. Brock won. Now, obviously, it will be the interesting thing is, did Goldberg really sign an extension? And I hope not, but just because I want to remember the Goldberg we had from 12 years ago and not the guy that we've had over the last chunk of time here.
Preach. Because that moves us to the bad. As we can see, we know that Brock is more capable of this, but he had to hold back because I think there's a limit, as to what Goldberg could do in terms of taking bumps. I was surprised he took as many suplexes as he did. He sent him to Suplex City, I think about 11 of those. But literally, we had about 5 freaking moves between the two of them used in this whole entire match. Dale, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, that's it. 5 moves. It's like you had originally said 4, and I was like, and then I counted them. I was like, spear.
You corrected me. Yeah.
Spear, jackhammer. A German suplex, F5, and then Goldberg
F5.
hit. Yep, and then Goldberg hit one knee strike on the outside of the ring after the spear through the barricade, which leads us to the next portion of our good, bad, ugly here.
That was the ugly. Yeah, that was a nasty spill that those two took through the barricade there with the spear delivered by Goldberg. I believe Brock got cut open in the process, right?
Yeah, it's like his back looked pretty gnarly, kind of. You could see the line where he got slammed to the barricade on that one.
Yep. So that one, like I said, definitely, I am just very glad to see that they made the right decision by putting the title on Brock. Should be interesting to see who's going to challenge him next for the WWE Universal title. Next match here. This is an interesting one to say the least. We had the WWE Champion Bray Wyatt taking on the Viper Randy Orton. About one of the only good things to come out of this one was the cool utilization of the graphics on the ramp. That was a pretty cool feature they had where they had the Viper kind of trailing alongside Randy Orton as he was making his way down the ramp. Dale, you have anything to add to that?
No. That was the things that we basically picked up. That is the only good. This match was underwhelming, way too gimmicky, and we'll get into all of the other parts of that when we do the other two portions here.
Yeah. So the bad is, this is the way Bray Wyatt's first world title run unceremoniously comes to an end. Bray basically almost in a way got buried. I'm not exactly sure why he lost tonight at WrestleMania or why he lost, I guess, without putting up a whole lot of offense or much anything against Randy Orton. Dale, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, this I don't really get it. This is one of those where we go back basically every WrestleMania that Bray Wyatt's been in, and another big name opponent and another WrestleMania loss for Bray Wyatt, and you're like, what does the person that beat him have to gain from this victory? John Cena, Undertaker, Randy Orton. It's just the thing is where's the push to the future? Yeah. The push to the future is Roman Reigns. But where's the rest of the push to the future of your roster? Bray Wyatt has now lost 3 times at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Which moves us to the ugly of this match. They utilized the graphics that they had, I guess, projecting down onto the mat on 3 different occasions. Each time that Bray went to the corner and he kind of channeled. First, it was, I believe, what was it? It was worms, I think, or was it maggots? I believe
maggots. It was maggots, worms, and then cockroaches.
Oh my! I was waiting for Randy. Wait! I was waiting for Randy Orton to get down the mat and start doing the thing where he pounds his fist down the mat, and then snakes would have appeared, because that would even things out, right? If he had all the different, creepy insects and bugs and whatnot, why couldn't we have seen a bunch of rattlesnakes or something?
Yeah, no.
This one here left a lot to be desired.
After the third one, I was like, Bray Wyatt's losing. I'm like, he's had too much gimmick here. The only thing Randy Orton's going to get from this is the fact that he wins the match, and then that was the thing. We got the cockroaches, lights came back on, RKO, game over.
Yeah. Well, before this here, we had a concert from Pitbull, and that's when I did my little Facebook Live update. So I was kind of giving the folks who follow the No Gimmicks podcast on Facebook, just kind of a quick update as to who have won the matches in the first half of the show, because the first half of the show was actually pretty good. So we're going to move on to that here. And let's talk about Seth Rollins, who took on Triple H in a non-sanctioned bout. So I'm going to utilize a little bit of lyrics from Flow Rider, okay, Dale? So the good of this match here was the fact that Seth Rollins was given the green light, and he was ready to go. All right? So that was the good of this match.
I like it.
Yeah. Seth showed out tonight. He didn't hold nothing back. Am I not right about that, Dale?
Yeah, it was because that was the big concern about this one, was what could Seth Rollins do? So no one really knew what to expect from this match, and boy, Seth Rollins was able to go, and this match absolutely delivered, near the top of matches of WrestleMania 33 for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a solid offering. I mean, he pulled all the tricks out of the bag, including the Phoenix Splash, and yeah, he did a nice cross body where he dove off the top ropes to the top. Out there to Triple H, he even took some liberties and actually hit a pedigree. So yeah, good work out of Seth here. Good work out of both guys, really. The bad in this one, though, I guess it's interesting to me that we did not see Samoa Joe utilized at all throughout this whole entire show. Not once on the card. I thought that was a little bit bizarre. Your thoughts on that, Dale?
Oh, absolutely. I will say, obviously, since that this did work itself into a pretty good match, that having Seth Rollins go over in the end was good. But we had this entire build-up of the knee injury caused by an attack by Samoa Joe, who was supposed to be working under Triple H, and at WrestleMania, you just let them go toe-to-toe, no involvement of Samoa Joe. Kind of surprising there.
Yeah, definitely. Should be interesting to see what happens next here. Like, I don't know if they're going to possibly go that direction. We get Seth versus Samoa Joe somehow, in a feud, since he's finally, beaten Triple H and gotten, that monkey off of his back. But moving on to the ugly here, that DDT that Triple H delivered to Seth out there in the announcer's table, and the table did not break. That was pretty sick. Dale, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I don't have really too much else to add. This match had all of the elements that you wanted to see, obviously, except for the expected interference that should have come. But in terms of match quality, it absolutely delivered.
Hell, even Stephanie took a bump through a table.
Oh, yeah, which had elevated the stature of this match. It was pretty cool to see Stephanie go through a table.
Yeah, nice bump there, Steph. Moving on here to an intergender match. We had an intergender tag match, actually. John Cena, and I guess we could pretty much call her Nikki Cena now at this point, taking on The Miz and Maryse. About the only thing good that really came out of this was the fact that they kept it short and sweet. Dale, I know you have a few more words you'd like to add to this one, though.
Well, it depends on who you are. My wife is the good of this is the proposal that came at the end of it. Big deal for the Total Bella and the Total Diva watchers. So,
I figured as much. I pretty much watched Total Divas or Total Bellas.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, and I also think they kept Nikki and Maryse's interactions to actually in the ring very limited, which was a smart move. They left it up to John Cena and The Miz.
Yeah, which was definitely a smart thing to do. Let them work the match, the majority of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not really a whole lot of good to say about this one. Why don't we just go ahead and jump into the ugly? Once again, Maryse decided to don the black, hideous lipstick, which makes her look like Cruella de Vil. Any ideas to why she chose to go with that look for tonight, Dale?
I don't know. It just seems that looked like the look of Miz and Maryse was to be in the black offset. So, it kind of just trickled all the way up there. But yeah, part of the ugly the lipstick by Maryse, and then obviously just I get that in the end it was the proposal that set up how the match was supposed to finish, but really again the pushing of the future of the company. John Cena wins over the Miz.
Yeah.
So
not good. So you know what? It's kind of funny because now that you just mentioned that, we're gonna move on to the next match here. And although it was one hell of a surprise, and although I marked out for it, and I know about a million other people did as well, let's talk about this tag match here, this tag ladder match for the WWE Raw titles. We had Enzo and Cass taking on Sheamus and Cesaro and Anderson and Gallows. That was the actual match. And then the New Day comes out and announces that there's another tag team that has entered the fold. And who might it be? None other than the Hardy Boys, who have not been on the WWE roster, I think they said, in about 7 years. And the place just absolutely erupted. Okay? So that is the good. The fact that the Hardys are now signed with the WWE and that they are now on the Raw brand as their tag team champions. But just continuing on with what you had said, Dale, you know, the Hardys are not exactly spring chickens themselves here. Okay? So let's jump right into the bad. The bad is the fact that Gallows and Anderson, who were gaining some momentum and were actually looking, you know, a little bit more dominant on the Raw brand, they have to take a backseat to an older tag team.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean? So, yeah, it kind of continues on what you were saying about, you know, they're supposed to be pushing the future and they're not. What do you guys say about that?
The only thing is I could think here is my original thought was that they keep the triple threat match and Anderson now will win. And Anderson and Gallows win, and then you have an appearance by the Hardys that sets up the feud going forward. Obviously, the feud is now set up anyway, but you did have to have the Hardys become the champions, and now Gallows and Anderson are the chasers. I think we're going to get good matches out of this group.
Oh, without question.
So that there's a positive there, is adding the Hardys to the tag team division in Raw is a positive. It ultimately, though, was a bit of a bummer that Gallows and Anderson finally, as you said, were building the momentum, and now it kind of stalls a little bit with the loss of the titles. But they're still going to be in the battle for them with the Hardys. Can't really complain about that either.
Yeah, because I'm going to say this. Had the New Day actually came out and they would have actually dropped the whole host stick for a little bit and they would have been the fourth team in that tag team match, I probably would have thrown up.
Yep.
I'm just keeping it real here. Like I said, I mean, we're just kind of trying to, you know, be non-biased because we are fans of the Hardys, but we just got to keep it real, too. Like I said, you know, these guys, they just literally came back after being gone for 7 years, and now they're already the tag champs. But moving on here to the ugly of the match, kind of goes back to the old school days of the Hardys, you know, Team Extreme. Jeff climbed to the top of a ladder that had to have been, I'd say, maybe about 20 feet high, maybe possibly higher than that, and dove off and hit a swanton onto Cesaro, who was laying on a ladder down below. That was quite a sight to behold. Dale, what's your thoughts on that?
No, it was Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah, actually, you know what? They were both laying down there, but did he hit both of them, or did he only just go through Cesaro, who was laying on the ladder? Did he actually make contact with both of them that were there?
He hit them both, but obviously the clean hit was on Cesaro because that ladder broke. And Sheamus kind of took some of the legs from Jeff and then rolled off the other side. But
gotcha.
I don't know, seeing that spot and some of the other things that the Hardys went through in that match, and just put it with the fact that they were the night before in a ladder match with the Young Bucks at Ring of Honor. I was like, that's back-to-back ladder matches for the Hardys
on Supercard of Honor 11. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure both ladder matches absolutely were knockdown drag out matches. So that's a pretty good toll on the Hardys to do in back-to-back nights.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, for them to put that kind of wear and tear in their bodies, I give those guys props, man. I really do. Like I said, we know just from this, you know, the short amount of time that we were in the business, you know, the wear and tear that you take being out there, especially, like I said, and you're not only just making, you know, these leaps and dives onto the floor, but going through like tables and going through ladders and stuff like that. Yeah, that's just brutal. Moving on here to the next match, on the WrestleMania 33 card, we had a fatal 4-way involving Bayley, Charlotte, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks. So the good of this one here was the fact that Bayley actually retained, and she did so paying homage to the late great Randy Macho Man Savage, and she got her WrestleMania moment. Dale, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was definitely a good thing. Obviously, she was in the Macho Man inspired attire, coming down, finishes the match with the Macho Man elbow. So definitely a cool little touch there, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can honestly say, I'm just going to throw this out, in terms of the look of the actual set and the lighting, the pyrotechnics and everything that they did for WrestleMania 33, this might have been one of the best looking WrestleManias I've ever seen. In terms of it being aesthetically pleasing to the eye. When Bayley came out and they had that shot of her, and they have the Bayley buddies or whatever they're called waving around the background, the color scheme and everything, it just looked beautiful. I can't even think of any other way to use a word to describe it. It just looked amazing. So yeah, they definitely nailed that aspect of the show here tonight. But something that they had a shortcoming on, which took place during this match, I was not a fan of the way that Sasha Banks got eliminated from this match. Sasha had a lot of momentum going into this one, and I don't know. It just kind of seemed a little bit abrupt. Dale, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, the little spot, the throw spot into the turnbuckle, I just thought kind of came off a little bit weak. There were several weak finishes at WrestleMania. This was one of the weak eliminations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The elimination of...
I mean, I know there's...
I was just going to say the elimination of Nia, though, wasn't a weak one. I liked how the three teamed up to eliminate Nia. Good psychology there. But yeah, I did not like the way Sasha went.
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah, the double bat drop with the big boot, adding insult to injury. Yeah, that was nice. I actually liked that there. But getting back to Bayley here, moving on to the ugly of this match. Bayley hit a bat drop onto to Charlotte, and when she delivered the move, it was like her knee was actually still kind of hooked onto the ropes. That just looked a little awkward there, didn't it, Dale?
Yeah, she was still in the tree of woe position, and then did the backdrop, but her leg obviously was still hooked up in that position. I was just like, man, I don't know how she kind of didn't really sustain some type of a knee injury there, but obviously they know how to protect themselves on that.
Thankfully she didn't.
It just looked kind of like she kind of came down strong. Obviously, she needed to stay hooked so that she could spring up into the elbow, but. And again, there wasn't too much ugly about this match, so we kind of looked at that one.
No, there really wasn't. We just kind of had to nitpick a couple of little things here just to kind of keep with the theme of the program. Moving on here to the next match we had from WrestleMania 33. We had Kevin Owens taking on Chris Jericho for the United States title. The good here was KO was victorious. He was victorious, and he earned his first United States title win while being with the WWE. Dale, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, just looking at what Owens has done. He's Universal Champion, Intercontinental Champion, now United States Champion. In the short little time that he's been up, it's a pretty impressive run for him. So,
yes, no,
and
KO's done he's made good use of his time. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it looks like the time has come to an end for Chris Jericho on this latest run, and maybe final. I don't know if we'll see Y2J again. Yeah,
that's definitely the bad of this one here, because I guess he's gonna go back on tour with his band. His band's called Fozzy, I believe, right? So yeah, I'm not sure how many more tours of duty Jericho has left in him in the WWE, but this one here, this has been a pretty solid run for him. It's definitely sad to see it come to an end. As I said, sometimes we have to really dig deep and try to find something, that we could consider the ugly. But not sure exactly how it took place throughout the course of this match, but KO had a cut open above his left eye. Anything you have to add to that, Dale?
No, it was like the strawberry, raspberry, whatever kind of fruit you want to call it, cut above his eye that I noticed. And I was like, well, that looks like that'll probably be the ugly from this match because these two guys are pretty clean in the things that they do. So
yeah, and I know a lot of people had said that would be the show stealer of WrestleMania. But this next match coming up here, actually our opening match on WrestleMania 33, which took place between the Phenomenal One, AJ Styles, and Shane McMahon. This match was a pleasant surprise. The good of this one here, AJ won. And also, I got to hand it to Shane McMahon. One awesome effort on Shane McMahon's behalf here. He brought it tonight. This guy, he pulled off a shooting star press. He took a dive from off the top ropes through one of the announcement tables. He did the coast-to-coast drop kick. Some good stuff from out of Shane, right, Dale?
Yeah. And obviously, the bad part about it was the execution of some of the stuff wasn't completely clean. But you got to remember, Shane McMahon
yes.
He's not a full-time wrestler. So
yeah,
I commend the effort. This match did not disappoint. It gave you the moments. AJ Styles had the win. Shane didn't have quite as clean an execution as you want, but again, he's not a full-time wrestler, so I won't knock him too bad. But we had just had to try to find something bad from this match.
Because I had made the joke. I had said none of these guys are currently deceased, and I hope that they won't be anytime soon. But Dean Malenko, Kurt Angle, and I even thought I saw Undertaker move or two. Those guys are all alive and well. We hope they stay that way for quite a while. But my goodness, if they were dead, they would be rolling in their graves with some of the execution and some of the way that Shane pulled off those moves tonight. Like I said, no, they did not look crisp at all. But like you said, you got to consider the fact the guy's not a full timer. I'm quite sure his training that he's received has probably been pretty far and few in between. So, give him at least the A plus for effort. Moving on here to the ugly of the match. My God, that ref got a face full of boot from AJ Styles there. Dale, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was pretty stiff kick, and obviously that opened up the ability to throw in the aluminum trash can. So, which I figured that this thing was going to have to throw in a weapon or two somehow. There's no way Shane McMahon is going through a match without some type of foreign object. But yeah, pretty stiff kick.
And I had said I was surprised that they didn't change this one to some sort of a stipulation at the last minute. But yeah, they gave them a little bit of freedom, to be able to kind of get some spots in outside of the ring, and take a little bit of creative violence, by using a trash can and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and move on here. Dale, you had the opportunity to actually see the kickoff matches. So real quick, we had 3 kickoff matches, right? We had Corbin versus Ambrose for the IC title. We had Neville versus Aries for the Cruiserweight title. And we also had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So let's start off here with the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. Dale, what's your thoughts on that one?
Well, our predictions were like 100% Braun Strowman. Well, we were 100% wrong.
Yes, we were. Both of us. I'm quite sure a lot of other folks were too.
He wasn't even in the final 3. Final 3 was Mojo Rawley, Killian Dane, who was a late ad, and Jinder Mahal.
Wow.
And Mojo wins with an assist from Rob Gronkowski.
The Gronk made his presence known at WrestleMania 33.
And then, obviously, Dean Ambrose retained in a hard-fought match with Baron Corbin. We were wrong in that one. But really not all that surprised. I think WWE just felt like Baron's probably not at his time yet.
Not quite
so
yet.
Dean Ambrose is gonna keep going forward. And then we had Neville and Austin Aries, which I was a little disappointed ended up being the very first match of complete WrestleMania.
That's disappointing to me, man.
It hit about 45 minutes into the kickoff show, which made me have to scramble because I wasn't anticipating it then, but I was following it on Twitter while I was watching the Giants game. So I had to scramble from Madison Bumgarner's perfect game attempt, which the Giants ended up blowing the game, but had to scramble over.
He had 2 home runs in that,
Yep, and the bullpen let him down again. But so I had to scramble over to Neville and Aries, and that match definitely delivered as everybody thought it would. Didn't quite live up to that of maybe Triple H and Seth Rollins, but those 2 matches are 1 and 2 of WrestleMania. Neville goes over, so that if I could give it a real quick, that would be the good, because we needed him to kind of continue that reign and start to try to put a stamp on the Cruiserweight division. So,
right. So
the bad is the fact that I was just going to say the bad is the fact that it was first, and then there really wasn't too much of an ugly. So
okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go back and check out the pre-show matches tomorrow, or I guess at this point, I could say later on today, because WrestleMania ran so long. Real quick, Dale, on the no gimmick scale, 1 to 5, what do you give WrestleMania 33?
Well, we had so many matches to go through. I was leaning towards a 4 early, kind of the backtrack of the 4 matches late, kind of swung me back, but I still thought it was an overall pretty solid effort. I got to go 3-5 because it ended up being better than TakeOver Orlando, which I gave a 3.25. So this has got to be a 3.5 for me.
Okay. Yeah, for this one, I'm going to be a little bit liberal here. I'm going to actually give it a 3.75 because I was enjoying the hell out of the first portion of that show. And like I said, and then Pitbull and Flo Rida and Stephen Marley showed up. And next thing I know, it was all downhill from there. And like I said, it hurts me with being a Taker fan for as long as I have to see him go out like that. It wasn't the fact exactly that, they decided to go ahead and have him lose the reins, but the match itself was just not good quality. Everything else pretty much, I'd say for the most part, delivered with the exception of Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. So I'm going to go with 3.75 on the no gimmick scale. So I know you and I can sit here and discuss this pay-per-view all night long, but we promised to our viewers this was going to be WrestleMania 33 in 33. We were going to give you pretty much our thoughts and analysis on the show in 33 minutes, and that's what we have done. So thank you for joining us for this special edition of the No Gimmicks podcast. We are No Gimmicks, No Image, all wrestling, all of the time. Please subscribe to our official YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/the No Gimmicks podcast. If you would like to be eligible for our giveaway through Pro Wrestling Tees, please make sure that you subscribe publicly. Check out Craig Perkins' articles on ProWrestling.com. We would like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comment section. Also, please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other professional wrestling fans on your social media accounts. That does it for this episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.